Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Market Check, brought to you by BB. There is no second best daily YouTube live stream to talk about markets. Welcome back, guys. Feel like a whole week's worth of news has happened since the last time we were live just 24 hours ago, right? Donald and Elon Musk are feuding. We got some downside volatility, kinda, right? I mean, not really, but kinda. Some nice tradable volatility. We'll talk about whether we think the bottom is in, where we go next, and of course, our expectations for joyful June. But I'm Tommy. You guys also know me as Snorlax. I'm joined by Tucker, Max, and of course Prometheus. Welcome, guys. I hope we've all had a great week. It is kind of hard to believe that it's Friday. I mean, we kind of made the joke yesterday about how we made it a lot of times actually on yesterday's show about how Bitcoin was trading in a 3% range for the entirety of the week. And then the powers that be said, don't worry, Tommy. We're going to provide you with some nice tradable volatility here. We're going to send the coins lower. We're going to make equities seem like the world is once again ending. Specifically Tesla. I haven't looked at that stocks chart today. I'm sure there's been a buyback today. We are seeing a buyback today. Before we can get, I think deeper into the conversation about what that buyback means for the market across the board, I'm going to ask if you guys can smash the like button. And I know it's Friday. I know a lot of people tend to take Friday off. They don't come to the Market Check crowd. That's fine. But if you guys are here, if you guys are supporting, we're always very appreciative when you guys can hit the like button. You help us continue to grow the channel ultimately so that we can keep bringing you this free content, right? So whether or not you are a Market Check enjoyer or hater, we'll be able, oh my God, we'll be able to keep providing you guys with content. My cat's very active this morning. He was getting into it before we went live, but let's talk about the market. Right, because it is Friday. We had a very tame week, all things considered. Like I said, Bitcoin was trading within a 3% weekly range. And then, we obviously got some downside volatility. We're getting some upside volatility on a recovery right now. Structurally, Bitcoin, I think, has recovered the most. ETH is, second. Not really that much of a surprise. We've kind of talked about how this is a Bitcoin and ETH dominance-led market for the time being. But altcoins have obviously given us some pretty substantial volatility in the meantime. I think they will likely continue to bounce back throughout today's daily candle. My gosh, Butters, he's just ripping some paper to shreds right next to me. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not. Hopefully not. But obviously, the question that we're going to be asking ourselves on today's show is the bottom in or not. We'll probably have to go around the table here and ask everybody that question. But we've definitely set the stage for further volatility over the next week. I think whether that is, the bottom is in and we're beginning that violent rebound that we've discussed is likely to come after, or, maybe we do see that last downside leg potentially later, this weekend or maybe even early next week. And then we see the reversal. I guess we'll just have to see. But I mean, equities seem to be very strong once again. Jobs data came in positive. Elon said yesterday that we would have a recession in the second half of this year. I know that definitely spooked the market a little bit, but to have, at the same time that jobs data come in and maybe quell some of those concerns this morning was definitely good for, suppressing volatility, pushing equities higher, and also I think pushing gold down, right? Kind of our recession indicator does look a little bit topped, which I do think will ultimately be positive for risk asset prices. But how are we doing, guys? What are we seeing in the markets? I don't even know where to start. Like, I could probably ask 5 to 10 questions about what happened yesterday. It was a pretty wild and volatile day, but how are we? How are we feeling about everything that's occurred over the last 24 hours?
Well, it wasn't on my bingo card for the year. That's for sure. I think that a lot of what we're seeing right now is just kind of noise and static. I'm not really worried about the structure that I'm seeing here on majors. I think stocks look pretty good. I think that seeing the Russell starting to kind of move up like it needs to in order for crypto to get that little bit of a tailwind is constructive. I think that the wealthiest man in the world and the president having a beef like that is insane. Like, just to throw out an accusation like that is absolutely wild. I guess no further commentary on that, because it's just holy crap, right? I mean, for one, Elon calling for a recession, Elon doesn't know if there's going to be a recession or not. Like, he's not, although Elon may be qualified at certain things, I don't think that he's the guy I would look to for like financial advice on, when markets are going to be moving up or down. I think it's a lot more nuanced than that. Certainly. So I don't know. I mean, I guess he could be right, but we also had some jobs data this morning that is not exactly trending in that direction. So we could speculate on if that data was manipulated or, fake. But, at this point, I unemployment's at 4.2%. I think we had ADP numbers this morning as well come in or something like that, or we had some. What was it? We had unemployment, and there's another one, more jobs than expected. Yeah. So it's like labor market is strong. I don't really see how we're going to have some major recession. We're not even trending in that direction. Like, you'd start to see like every unemployment print like slowly creeping up towards 5%, and then finally it would like pop, but we're just not doing that. So I think the data is certainly contradicting to that statement. I think he was just talking shit, it sounds like. But anyways, yeah, markets had a little bit of a spook, but I like the recovery we're seeing this morning. I mean, I wouldn't rule out. I kind of think the low is in, truthfully. I wouldn't rule out like a little curl down, at this point next week or over the weekend, if this is like a short covering rally or something like that. But yeah, I mean, I think we're working towards a scenario in which we close the month of June a lot higher. So that's really just what I'm focused on. And I think it looks good.
I would love to see a higher low set here. I think that's what we need. Because just like looking at it, right? Like, it's too, like, to me, first glance, this looks like it's, probably gonna get rejected here at all this supply, right? But unless we just straight V out of this, which I kind of don't think we will. I'm on the 4 hour, right? Like, if you look at the daily, right, it's like I just think you need some more candles this way, I just think you need some more of this, right? But that's kind of my first glance at it. I mean, you're also coming into like a bunch of moving averages, especially like, the daily, you're below all of them. The 12-hour, you're below all of them. You're basically at all of them on the 4 hours. So definitely some work to be done. But yeah, I would say this, like, if you can reclaim this high, I think you're absolutely back. But I would love to see a higher low, over here somewhere. That would be nice. But yeah, if not, we've kind of talked about it. Just a volume profile. I think you lose this green box, you're probably coming back to like 96, 97, which wouldn't be the end of the world. But I would look for this to get tagged 96. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking here.
I could see us continue to just kind of try to chew through these levels today. I could even see us like take out see the wick high right before the sell-off.
Mm-hmm.
I could see us sweep that level, then maybe locally work back down just a little bit. We'll see how the rest of the day goes. I don't think it matters too much. I mean, it's a Friday. I would say a bit anecdotally, like, having been in this market for a while, like a local V recovery, having follow through on a Friday going into a weekend, probably less likely than likely. But anything can happen. If this sell-off was really more so catalyzed by a very notable Twitter beef that happened yesterday, if that was truly what did it, then I don't really see a reason to go back down to make new lows. But I mean, it looks good to me, man. And I think the confluence is in what equities are doing. Like if you look at the Russell, it's not like crypto's having an isolated bounce here that's independent of like what equities are doing. Draw a trend line across those highs on a diagonal down for the Russell. Like I think what you're seeing here is a bounce in risk, right? So it's not like stocks are not. It's like what I'm trying to say is that stocks and crypto are behaving. They're working kind of in tandem together. So it's not like this is some isolated like dead cat bounce for crypto where equities are rolling over. The Russell looks like it wants lower. To me, it looks like the Russell's breaking higher and crypto's getting a nice local V bounce off of a crazy shakeout that we saw yesterday. So that's kind of my strong, like optimistic case for we just keep going higher, is that we know the significance of small cap US based companies and what that typically implies for crypto when they move higher. And that's what we're seeing here. So if we weren't seeing Russell strength or constructive structure, I'd be more concerned. But I mean, this chart looks bullish to me, genuinely. I mean, this is a downtrend shift from December all the way through now the middle of the year. Crazy, it's already June. But I don't look at this chart and think anything but up, truthfully. So if the Russell continues to show strength, then crypto is going to be strong. It's super simple, right? Big level, but I think also it's fair to assume the Russell is, typically lag structure behind something like the NASDAQ. So like if you were to put the NASDAQ below this chart, Tucker, and draw that same trend line that you have, the diagonal one on QQQ, and you'll see what I'm talking about, where it's like
Q or QQQ?
QQQ is fine. Yeah, just like normal, look at the ETFs. If you were to draw that same trend line, you could maybe go lower than the 3-day or something just for more structure. But you could draw a from that high, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like you could make the case that the Russell is just structurally lagging what its big brother is doing. So I don't really see at this point cause for concern with crypto. I actually think if this times out perfectly and we continue to see equities, specifically small cap, US companies show strength off of crypto having kind of a local weird puke, arguably catalyzed from a Twitter beef between Elon and Trump yesterday, then we probably stick the landing on a V recovery here. That doesn't mean we couldn't like locally backfill some inefficiencies, but I mean, I don't have an interest in fading any of the charts we've looked at. Like crypto looks strong. NASDAQ looks strong. I'm still holding my calls that I bought under 410, like at the lows. They're up like 6x. I'm not selling them. I think we probably go into price discovery here this summer. I don't know how aggressive I think it is, but I'm not interested in fading the structure. Not here.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I think the risk to equity markets is not headlines. I think it's probably long end yields potentially going higher over the next week or so. Just looking at TLT, because we did get good employment data, right? The economy is strong. What does that mean? Typically for yields, they tend to move a little bit higher. I think we're seeing probably the beginnings of that right now. TLT, for example, potentially gearing up for another leg down, maybe something like the 30-year going higher next week. I'm not expecting like dramatic downside in equities, but I think, if we look back and there is a cause, it's probably going to be, somewhat related to these things. Because, we got hot employment data, right? We got good employment data, which shows the economy is still strong, but it also shows they don't need to cut rates. Next week, we have CPI, right? If we have any inklings of hot inflation coming back, then I think you're going to see yields maybe spike. But something Jackus and I have been talking about is, kind of when this spike, specifically when treasuries continue to go lower, we're getting very, very close to the Janet Yellen bottom of October 2023. So We'll probably see them take. He is something today. See them take dubious measures to send treasuries higher and ultimately yields lower.
Yeah,
I
think
hope so.
structurally,
We need to see this thing bounce, man. I want to see it drop and bounce. Sorry, what do
Let
you
me
say?
ask you a question, guys. Sorry, does it even matter anymore? Do yields even matter unless there's something like a +2 standard deviation move or something like that? I mean, do yields, even the yield curve, do they matter anymore? It seems like as time goes on, they become, in my view, less significant, but maybe I'm wrong on that take. If you were trying to position and risk based off of what yields were doing, I think you've been pretty unsuccessful, personally.
yeah, well, I mean, as we know with the like the people that are really trading yields, right, are very slow to move. They're slow to act. They're very apprehensive. They're very risk adverse, and because of that, that's largely why I think we've seen from a chart perspective, this accumulation out of TLT takes so long, the distribution from 10 years takes so long. It's because those markets are very, very, very slow to move. And the liquidity and the capital within them is very apprehensive to take risk. And they only really get the green light if it's the most no-brainer trade, right? If just like it was like when it came to the inflation data, oh, we're going to trust the Fed's take on only raising to 150 basis points. Oh, inflation's not going to be that bad. Well, after, the Fed had already hiked to, 300 basis points, and until we had finally gotten like a 6, 7, 8% print on inflation, then they were like, oh, now we need to, position, now the trade has become obvious. And that's what you see out of a lot of these TradFi legacy markets, is especially when it comes to yields and like TLT specifically, like the long end, it's slow acting, it's slow to move. Like it is truly that like container ship mentality, where it takes them a long time to shift and adjust in accordance to whatever the market is doing. And like Max said, if you largely traded based off of yields at this point, you've missed out on some really key rotations within the market that we've had for the better part of the last 24 months. I mean, structurally speaking, for me, with the Russell, I think it's important that you look at the futures specifically. If we go and we look at that, RTY, the E-mini Russell 2000 futures, we're still having an issue breaking above the supply. I want to see, nice weekly close above 2150, we'll call it. And then you're going to be able to attack the next supply region at 2275 to 2300. And the S&P, the ES specifically, we're coming up into that 6,000 level. And as of right now, it truly seems like vertical accumulation. We've had multiple bearish news events this week, and the markets have just shrugged them off completely. We've had, very, very low time frame pullbacks, but on, more of a zoomed out perspective, you zoom out to the daily, we've completely shrugged off the that negative sentiment, those negative news catalysts. And to me, even though you may be seemingly logical in your standpoint that things look like they could potentially be weakening, the market could be irrational and really just not care at all and continue to, go to new all-time highs, could continue to, have acceleration to the upside. Because where's money going? Money is going and positioning into higher strikes from an options data perspective. And the market doesn't care. Like the market does not care. You can't ignore the trend. You cannot ignore what is going on in the broader markets right now.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the S&P looks like vertical accumulation for sure. I don't know. I want to see a little bit more strength out of majors that aren't Bitcoin. I mean, ETH has been doing it. ETH has been doing pretty well, but I don't know about. I mean, we talk about this all the time, but I don't know about Sol here. It just like Sol is at 95K Bitcoin right now. You see what I'm talking about? Like that's not great. And this is more your like, quote unquote normie head and shoulders, right? Like, and it's pointed the right way. Maybe you get this, but Sol just does not look the best to me.
I'm expecting a bounce into like 160 at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm looking for Sol to bounce into. It might not get there though. I don't think the low's in on Sol personally, but
there's nothing more bullish than a failed head and shoulders breakdown in a bull market. I'll tell you that.
Let's look at total and like total 2 and total 3. Because I think those are really good. I mean, those are our indexes, right? And give us really good understanding of kind of where we're at structurally speaking and kind of how liquidity is shaping up on the higher time frames. I mean, from total, if you look at total here, we had that huge demand region that we did break back down below. But could this be an SFP? Could it, if we suck back up here, get a nice buyback, back up into the range? Yeah, absolutely. The chart does look like it has a little bit left to give to the downside, in my opinion. Maybe backfill a little bit more of the inefficiency on the weekly. But I think we're much closer to the bottom than it may seem, right? If we, are talking from a structural perspective, the highs to where we're at now, or to where we were, down almost 10% from the highs on Bitcoin. And yeah, I mean, total to me is, from a structural perspective, if you're able to reclaim back in here, break back above 3.32 trill, failed breakdown, like Max is saying, from a head and shoulders perspective and from a trend perspective. So break back to bullish market structure and it's on.
Yeah, I like that that weekly FVG midline fill right there. I'm pretty sure we saw it. Maybe we didn't. I was looking for it somewhere else. I remember like a couple months ago. And it didn't quite end up being the bottom. Maybe it was this. Yeah, so it's not it's not perfect every time, but I mean that is nice, that is nice right there. Like I would love for total to stay above, like this action. Get rid of that. Like this, basically. Not venture back down,
And you know what's interesting from that chart versus Bitcoin? That's kind of in confluence. Like if you pair Bitcoin underneath that, that's like Bitcoin at like 91K right there. Like,
I don't know if it's, let me see. I think it's more
like structurally, they look very, very, it's very, very, very similar.
It had a little drop in there, but like 91 would be like.
But if you look at the support on the left on total, if you zoom out, that's very similar support to like 2K at Bitcoin.
95, yeah, I'd say it's more like 95. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, total more or less looks like it kind of, I mean, on a higher time frame, like completed its pullback potentially, but we'll see.
I still think the altcoin market's sending mixed signals because it's such like a market of haves and have-nots. Like some things look terrible and some things look like, it definitely looks reasonable to be prospecting a bottom here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Tucker, would you pull up like stable coin dominance, either Tether dominance or both Tether and
They
USDC?
had some new ticker for it or no?
I haven't seen it. If they did.
Oh, oh, no. Here we go. Oh, we did bounce at the line, man. That is not.
Just delete the line and then we're good.
I can't delete the line, man.
Just delete it.
Oh,
Nuke it.
dude, I'm gonna delete everything else, but look at that. That's
I don't want to
crazy,
see that, bro. I don't want to see that crap.
dude.
Nah.
That's brutal.
He locked it. He locked it.
It did lock it.
I said delete it and he locked it. All right,
Dude.
let's go lower time frame though. Let's get under the daily. Let's look at this thing.
Okay.
Max, what's up with people thinking we look alike? We just got another one.
Really?
Yeah. Is Prometheus just a jacked Max? If you see us in person, we don't look alike.
I don't think we really look alike. I mean, we could be like third cousins or something.
Distant relatives.
Who's the actor? The actor that people said you look like.
We went over this yesterday, I think. Fastbender, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's funny.
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say that we look totally different, but we definitely don't look like brothers or twins or something. But
The last Fastbender.
yeah. What I
Yeah.
like about this Tether dominance chart is like if you were to draw a trend line under that supply that we just hit, Tucker, that's
Yeah.
like kind of a I love that little
Underside retest.
Yeah.
yeah, like that's pretty cozy. You know what I mean? So
It's
I
gotta
like
be
I like this kind of structural bracketing that we're seeing. But yeah, I mean, it's like we need to see some follow through here now. Like we probably need to get back down below 4.72 ish. I don't know. So I'm just eyeballing it on your screen, but I don't mind that, right? I mean, it sucks that we had a puke yesterday, but from like a structural perspective, it doesn't really get much more textbook than that. So if this ends up being a move that has some follow through after an overhead supply retest, then do me a favor, Tucker, go to like the 6 hour, leave that line on and go to the 6 hour. Let's draw a diagonal across all the lows right there.
The lows.
Lows. That's an arrow, but you can draw that if you'd like.
I like the arrows without this.
Oh, so you like to just do a complicated trend line. Okay.
Yes.
I think this is probably your level where you could probably come back down in it, then maybe move back up a little bit to like 4.87, 4.9, and then eventually this month I would expect that trend line to break and for the next move to commence. That's kind of my gut feeling. A little bit more garbage. I love the reaction off of that supply overhead, but your next move is going to begin when this Tether dominance trend line finally gives out, right? But it's a Friday. It's a local V recovery into a Friday session heading into a weekend. Just be prepared for garbage. You know what I mean? Just be prepared to get annoyed. Is all I'm going to say. But I think that this looks constructive, which is all that we care about, right?
You got to lose this one. That's the big one.
Nah, just delete that, bro. I don't want to see that.
I want to see that get lost.
Just get that. That's not even a real trend line. Just get it off the chart.
No,
It's fine.
can't do it. Yeah, this is nice though. This is for sure.
That's a nice retest. Like that's textbook, That's beautiful, right? And I love the quick puke off of it. It's important.
Yeah.
But now we need to see some follow through. Like we're kind of back at demand right now. But I don't really see us making new highs on Tether dominance here personally. I feel like we could maybe just churn back up to like 485 or something like that over the weekend at some point. And then hopefully next week and the week following, look forward to, that is,
Wow.
that looks like a scam pump on a shitter, doesn't it?
I'd like to see like this, maybe like this.
Yeah, I like that too. Can you draw that diagonal again at the lows, just so we can kind of visualize on the lower time frame? I would tighten it. Yeah, right there, something like that. Yeah. So I think this is probably your level to watch, right? If you can get back below 4.7, you start looking really, really good for crypto. So.
Yeah, I mean, I can't reiterate enough. Like that has to be your high on stablecoin dominance. Otherwise, it's not so good, which we won't talk about. But yeah, that's got to be it.
Do we have any likes on the stream today, or are we at 0?
We're at 0.
We're at 0 likes. Can likes go negative? Is that possible? Has that ever been done before?
We're going to be showing up to your house and begging for like buttons. That's what negative likes means.
Jackus has all the memes we need.
Guys, can we just get 1 like on the stream today? That'd be awesome. Just a single like.
Just one.
It reminds me like those guys that come up to your house to like sell you those like pesticide products. And they're like, before you close the door, hear me out.
Oh my God.
Dude, I get those guys all the time. They like come up to the door. They're like, hey, how's it going? Nice to meet you. So, blah, blah, blah. Like, have you had problems with wasps and ants this year?
Jesus.
All right, we're getting some likes going. I think on Bitcoin, really personally, what I need to see is you get above 106.8. You got my full attention.
Let's see the chart. Yes, let's see the chart.
Got my full attention. All right, let me clean this up.
I finally had to boot Butters out of the office. He's been a menace this morning.
I think James Wynn got zeroed out finally?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like 0. I'm not talking like 100K. Like I actually think his account's at 0.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So what we did say before is that might end up being like the Miko bottom, right? Could it be? Is it too good to be true?
Calling Trump a pedo, James Wynn getting zeroed.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. He's got $7 in his account. $7.03. I was wrong. So we actually do have to we got to clear that out first. I think.
And you don't think he's about to make it all back?
Dude, Bitcoin's going to 160. The math is simple. Just a 5,000x levered long with $7 of equity, and he'll be back.
How many times does he have to do that? Do some compounding math here real quick.
That's the power of compound.
Dude, those compound interest calculators.
I'm glad we don't have to hear about James Wynn anymore.
Yes.
I mean, whether he is a sophisticated entity, whether he's a complete idiot, retail, degen, I don't want to have to hear about James Wynn on my timeline any longer. It's just a distraction, I think.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy if we rip from here and go to like 130, 140, and he got cleaned out of 100 million right before then, man. That's going to be insane. I'll almost feel bad, but it's like he kind of did it to himself. So
chalk it up to the game.
One man did something in 30 days that most can't do in a lifetime.
But imagine if like he had just taken that 100 million and then just converted it all to spot Bitcoin, even at the highs, bro, you're set forever. That's $1 billion if you can just wait a decade.
Yeah, but I could have gotten that P&L card, Max.
Yeah, that's true.
But 80 mil can barely buy you a yacht.
Oh, that dude. Okay, here's the thing: is I went to the Miami boat show a few years ago. You can get a fucking yacht for a lot less than 80 million, bro. Like,
yeah.
I was on some like 120 foot like azimuths. They're like, I'm pretty sure they're like Italian made boats, like beautiful. They're like the Ferraris of the sea, And these 120 foot, like, dude, they're nicer than like houses. They're unbelievable. 120 foot. They had like hot tubs on them. Okay, I'm pretty sure they were like 12 million. Okay. So maybe they're like 18 to 20 now or something. And maybe I'm off a little bit. But I'm just saying, if your goal was to get a nice yacht, you can. I went to the Miami boat show, man. Like, you can get a nice yacht. Okay. Dude, you can get a private jet for like 10 million, like a nice jet for 10 mil. It's crazy to think that anybody needs more than that. Just saying.
Yeah.
And also just saying, if you're playing in crypto to be a rich asshole to buy a Lamborghini and Ferrari and boats and planes, there's other things that are more important. Seek help, just saying. But you know what the coolest thing you can possibly do is make a ton of money and literally it does not change you at all. And you just wear like $17 t-shirts. That's the coolest thing, man. That's the coolest thing.
Study Adam
I love
Sandler.
seeing a guy that's made it that just you'd have no clue. You'd have no clue in the world. That's how it should be.
Yeah, it's like Adam Sandler's worth like what 400 million and just grabs random athletic shorts and shirts every day. And yeah,
You have to love the Sandman. Speaking of which, I'm really excited to see Happy Gilmore too, because I loved Happy Gilmore.
Hey, I don't know, man. I'm worried they're gonna ruin it.
There's always that chance, but I'm willing to take it.
I mean, I'm willing to take it too, but I worry because whoever it was sold the rights to Netflix. It just is reminding me of Star Wars selling to Disney, right? Like,
oh yeah.
Well, selling to Netflix, I feel like, is a little better than selling to Disney.
for sure. But
There's a reason we call them Disney adults and not Netflix adults.
yeah, we'll see. When does it come out?
I think this summer, like maybe next month or something.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be watching it. Guys, do we have a single like on the stream? I know it's Friday, but I just want one like. That's it. Just one.
I liked it, Max.
No, we have 0 likes on the stream. Like 0, guys. There's none. 0. Unbelievable.
I liked it.
Tucker liked it, so we have 1 like from Tucker. Thank you,
I
Tucker.
liked it.
Okay, 2 likes.
I liked it. Yeah. The whole panel liked it.
We
So
should
we
have
have 4
4.
likes because
Okay,
all of
we
us
should
liked
have
it, but
4.
none of you guys liked it. You're just mooching free information without even expressing a like of gratitude. That's insane to me, bro. That's insane. All right, let's see where we're at. 136. All right, that's pretty good. That's not bad. All right, what are we looking at here? Kita meat stick. Meat sticker.
Throw it on the 12-month. Just one big green stick. Dude, I get asked all the time. People always ask me, like, when's a good spot to buy? When's a good spot to buy?
100x ago when you called it, probably.
Yeah. Yesterday, when we're in full-blown capitulation, and now we're up like over 20% off those lows. Yeah, 33% off those lows.
I mean, it's clearly an interest for people to trade because you can see how quick the dips get sucked up. So
yeah, and it's fast too. Like, it's not a slow buyback either, which is usually indicative of complacency and weakness. I mean, the velocity of the buybacks are quite outstanding. I mean, Kita in general, like yesterday, I mean, if we get another capitulatory candle on Bitcoin, like let's just say down to 9-day, let's just say on Bitcoin, and Kita is probably going to follow. I'm not going to give like, oh, this is going to be the exact price you're going to set a limit order at, and it's going to be the Pico Schmico bottom, and you're going to ride it then up to, for 10x. No, what it's likely going to happen is if we see another pullback. By the way, Bitcoin's back up above 105. If we see another like sell off, you get, let's just say, capitulatory candle. No matter where it ends up, that is your spot to buy. Like yesterday, in charts that are showing strength similar to this nature, right? It's so hard to chart something like this because of the strength that it's shown, because the resiliency it's shown, and the pullbacks that we've gotten have been so brief, that when you get them, when you get like pure blood in the water, blood on the streets, that's your time to buy. I think this thing is going to continue to show strength, but I don't want to sit here and just talk about it the whole time. If I'm being real, right? We know what it's
Dude,
done.
chill your
It's been
bags,
awesome.
Prometheus. Do it. Talk about it.
Yeah,
Chill
yeah,
it.
it's been.
Gentlemen,
I mean,
he
it's been
can't even
awesome.
chill his own bags.
No, it's been awesome though. They became the first credit bureau on chain. I don't know if you guys saw that. That's pretty sick and legit. So pretty cool.
You know what my favorite part about Kita is? All the fundamentals and everything aside, it's that you joined the BB team and then you just like launched this play into the entire community and made everybody so much money because it's like, it seems like everybody on the team comes in, and if it's meant to be, they are like immediately inaugurated through, like, it's like this inauguration and acceptance through like a generational play at some point. Like Louis had one when he came on, you had one. I mean, it's different for Tommy and Tucker because they've been around so long, but like some of the newer guys, and you just came in and everyone's kind of like, all right, he's like been a mod in the community for a while. Like, we don't really have his plays. Like, all right, I guess he's shilling some shitter called Keto. Let's just like see what happens. Then it just went bananas, It's like,
yeah,
that's my favorite part about it, man. It's like that it was like your first call out and it just couldn't have gone any better, man. It was, I mean,
and I was
talk about the
super
glove fitting.
apprehensive. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And that's the thing, like joining the community, like you want to do the community right, you want to do the team right, you want to do the brand right. And dude, I got messaged it, and like this green box is where we bought, by the way, the initial buys, and
insane, by the way, insane.
Yeah.
Can you draw a percentage on that chart for me? Just do a little drag, just
like
just a little
40x, isn't it?
it's like
just a little clicky poo.
3,000%.
30 is that
Yeah.
3370?
Yeah, it's 3,300%.
So that's a 32x.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're up 32x on your call out in what period of time? Under 3 months?
Yeah, 82 days.
So
Or,
a
well,
32x in a month. That's pretty good.
yeah, it's
Okay.
not bad.
I mean, I'd say try to be better. I think 50x would be better personally.
Try to be better.
At some point in this cycle, this will be 100x.
You know what the problem for you
at some
moving
point.
forward though is Prometheus is that it's like you went like triple
Everybody's gonna
platinum on your
expect
first
this.
song.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's like post.
Like,
you know what I'm
how
saying?
you gonna follow that up now? You might hit a 5x and everyone's gonna be like, oh, whatever, It's gonna be
Yeah,
tough.
no,
bro.
it's-
It's gonna be really tough.
It was like Post Malone with White Iverson, and everybody's like, "Oh, he's gonna fall off," and then he just kept coming back with banger after banger after banger.
But you know what
It's
the
gonna be
secret
the same
was? Is he
thing.
got face tattoos. I think you need to
Yeah.
get face
Yeah.
tattoos.
I need to get the like barbed wire olive branch, like Jesus.
I'd say, dude,
coming
no,
to
just
Christ.
get cash tag Kita right on your forehead, and then you'll be good.
Yeah, we could do
Right
that.
there.
Could do that. I have no tattoos, by the way, too. So that would be very off-brand. That
Well,
would be
you
very,
mean look
very
for the
off-brand.
success of for financial prosperity and success moving forward. I think it's non-negotiable. We're gonna have to get that set up for you.
Yeah,
So
we're gonna have to.
I'm glad to
put
hear
that
you're
as a
open to
contract.
it. Yeah.
We're gonna have to work that in. Work that into the contract at some point.
Yeah.
No, this at some point will be multi-billion-dollar.
Can you put it in log for me? Let's have a
Sure.
little fun with some log fibs. I want to see what the
Ooh, look
log
at
fibs look like.
Look at that.
Let's do a little log fib action maybe on that first range. I just kind of want to see where we're at, you know?
Yeah, these. So this is. I got the logs here. The log fibs marked out here. But I mean, we could pull another one. You want it off just this first range?
Yeah. Let's just see.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so we're at our 2.6. Where's the 3.618 at?
3.5.
What is that?
Yeah. So it's over 3x from here.
No, but that's what, 2 bill? 2 or 1.5?
It would be like 1.5 roughly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is easy. I mean, in the books, I mean, that's so free. That's so free with like ETH absolutely chatting to 4K, total 3 breaking out, Bitcoin and price discovery. I mean, it's
So I'm
free
going to
ticket.
address this comment right now. If you were to get a BB logo tattooed on yourself, I would grant you a free membership. Yeah, I'm not endorsing anybody doing that, just to be super clear. But I think out of sheer guilt, and a little bit of flattery, I would probably provide that for you. Yeah, I would. And again, I'm not endorsing anybody do that. But I think you would be backing me into such a corner that, like, in good conscience, I couldn't turn you away. You know what I mean?
Max, they're all just going to go do that now.
And here's the thing is if they all go and do that, then again, I've been not just backed into a corner by one person, but I've been surrounded by a vicious gang of BB supporters that want free memberships. And then it's like 1 versus 12. I don't stand a chance. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, yeah, that would be crazy.
That would be.
Could you imagine there's like, we get like a subreddit started where everybody's just like tattooing QR codes on their forehead?
Imagine our business goes under because all of our existing members get BB tattoos and then no one pays us. And then we can't keep the lights on anymore. Tucker's like, shut up. No one's getting free memberships.
You just hedge by buying tattoo parlor calls.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Oh, there we
dummy.
go.
Dude, don't you dare draw anything bearish on this chart, Prometheus. I swear.
That's a bullish. That's bullish.
Okay. All right. Good. If you were going to say, I thought you were queuing up a one more sweep of the lows comment. There's been single-handedly nothing more traumatizing for me this cycle than hearing one more sweep of the lows, every single drop, and then most of them actually playing. It's been horrible.
This chart's going to have some nasty mean reversion to the upside.
What is that? There you
This is
go.
going-
Yeah,
there
that's
we go.
it hasn't even nuked yet, man.
No, this is where it belongs.
Is that labeled dumpster?
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Truly a Salana hater. Between
Yes.
Prometheus and Tommy,
I
so
hate
much
Salana.
Salana fun on this show.
I've done nothing but lose money on Salana.
I made money on Swift,
I mean,
and then everything else, I don't think I've made money on Solana.
no. It's if you're not deploying contracts, it's literally impossible.
But it's so fast and cheap. Are you
Very
not,
I can use
are
my
you not
mobile
impressed by the
Phantom wallet.
speed? Dude, have you ever swapped on like Jupiter? Have you ever used Jupiter? Like, dude, what? It's revolutionary.
Yeah, I just can't get down with it. With how the liquidity behaves, how just like for it's dude, I was watching The Last of Us last night, and like the zombies come out and they're infected and they're like coming for the healthy humans. And I'm like, that's like the Solana natives. Like those zombies are the Solana natives. I'm like, they are coming to infect everybody. Like they want to infect everybody and they want to bring them into the circle. Like,
Dude, I quit watching after the second episode of the first season.
So did I, man.
Like, what am I? What are you there for? Like, you know,
mhm.
are you caught? Are you fully like engaged and like?
I'm on the 4th episode,
Of
first season.
you're on season. Okay, he's on season 1. Season 1 was great. All right.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
you still
I
get to
mean-
enjoy it for another like 5 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say the female actor or actress, she is a terrible actress. She's terrible. And she's like portraying a 14-year-old and she's really 21 in real life. And you're like, how is this? What is going on? But I mean, other than that, I love a good zombie movie. That's for sure.
Yeah, I just watched The Gorge, which is kind of a zombie movie. Not really. I mean, the zombies gave me like Last of Us vibes, but I enjoyed it watching it with my wife. I wouldn't say it was like a great movie, but I enjoyed it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we see mean reversion out of Salana, if I'm being real. What are your guys' thoughts from an industry perspective on where streaming platforms are headed and how that whole industry is going to evolve and shift moving forward? Because if you think about it, the only people that have TV subscriptions to this point, being cable, are boomers. Like nobody has TV subscriptions.
Genuinely, Comcast is cooked. Well, here's the thing.
Bankrupt.
But here's the thing is like they're gonna end up absorbing and buying streaming platforms. Every one of them has to, like, they're gonna be blockbustered if they don't, without question. Like,
Yeah.
no question about it, bro. And even like, you know, YouTube TV, it's like, dude, I don't have cable. I stream it. Like, I have YouTube TV, you know?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, my parents probably pay for like internet and cable. I think they pay like $400 a month for like all their stuff. It's a complete scam. And I'm like, guys, what are we doing here? Like, you could be paying for internet and cable no more than like $110 a month, you know, your whole house, you're good to go. But they just like, you know, they're just familiar with it, right? Like, they don't even understand like what streaming is. Like, they know how to use Netflix, but like, if I said name a streaming platform, they wouldn't know what that was, but they use Netflix, you know? So
Yeah, like my fiance's parents, we just got them off of cable. We got them like Peacock.
it sounds like a drug the way you
Netflix.
say it. Like, we got them off of cable after all these years.
No, dude, it is. They're like hooked
they've
on
been
it.
using for 10 years. We got them clean
Yeah.
off cable. Yeah.
We did, man. I mean, it's so interesting too. Like you said, they just have the subscriptions and they don't even use them. It's just like they're like, oh yeah, we have cable, but we don't use it.
Well, I get this. Like, I get the sports aspect of it, but like
Yes.
YouTube TV, right? Like, you
Yes.
can watch the NBA Finals, NHL, football.
And they have other packages on there too. If you want, I'm pretty sure you can get like Red Zone on there and stuff too.
Oh, you can absolutely get Red Zone. on
Yeah.
it.
Oh
A
yeah.
man who speaks from experience.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
YouTube TV is awesome. Like if I
One
highly
thing though,
recommend
I
it.
don't think it does super well is baseball, and I really don't care a whole lot about baseball. But
Talk about a dying sport.
if
I
you're
mean-
super into baseball, then you probably need cable.
You can buy like a baseball exclusive package, though. I think
Mhm.
they're typically pretty cheap. I'm not a baseball guy either. I feel like streaming services, we're just kind of like optimizing our cable packages where you get to pick and choose. I mean, with a cable package, you get every channel effectively, but streaming services give you obviously what they stream plus like whatever live TV shows that you want to watch. So you're just kind of like cutting out the glut that you see in a cable package typically. But I also feel like you know, it can be pretty easy to end up, you know, getting into so many streaming services that you're kind of almost replicating the cost that you would pay for cable.
I
If you're
would
not,
agree with that. Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. You know what bugs me the most is like we used to have kind of like a universal like package where you could just buy like your all in cable package and you have like everything. And then you have like on demand and then you have like your movies. Now it's like you want to watch a certain show. Well, it's not available on Netflix. It's not available on Peacock. It's like you got to buy Hulu. So it's like to watch a certain show, you might have to buy a whole new subscription just for that one show, right? Which is kind of annoying. Like there's no all in anymore,
Mhm.
which is kind of annoying to me.
Yeah. No, I mean, I completely agree. You know, and from a sports perspective, like baseball is such a dying sport, especially with the newer generation. Like the newer generation does not fancy baseball. Like newer generation does not watch baseball.
Because I think they're just like dopamine addicts and the game doesn't move
100%.
fast enough. I mean,
Yeah,
I've
and
never, that's always been the reason I don't really like baseball personally. So I guess I'm kind of like exactly who you're describing, but yeah.
well, I mean, I'm a baseball fan. Like I grew up playing a lot of baseball, big Redbirds fan, Cardinals, go Cardinals. But yeah, like you said, the game is too slow. And I do think that that industry is going to have to like they're going to have to do something with the game to like bring people back to watching it, you know, bring people back to watch it. There's
Yeah,
a
it
nice
doesn't really
4-hour
help.
bull div on Pepe.
Doesn't really help their commissioner is kind of a complete buffoon.
They did have a good rule change though recently, which I will give them. Speeds
With
up
the
the game a
pitching?
little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, they got like the shot clock on pitching, right?
Yeah,
Thank God for that.
good rule.
You know, what's funny is my hometown, my hometown, it's not my hometown. I'm not from here, but the place I'm living right now, the Rockies are like historically bad for baseball. I don't know if you guys have followed it at all, but like the Rockies are literally 9-50 the last time I checked. They might end up with the worst record in baseball history.
That's almost impressive.
It is,
Yeah,
it is really impressive. And I was thinking to myself, like, how do you, as a professional, I know you're getting paid, but like, how do you continue to play 100+ games when you know you're that bad?
Dude, you're getting those buku bucks, Tommy. That's why.
I'm surprised that franchise is still in Colorado, if I'm being real. And
Yeah,
I think a big part of it too is like the social dynamic of Colorado. Like if you know Colorado, there's a certain we'll just call it like social belief dynamics that thrive better in certain places than others.
Let's look at some shit coins, guys. I want to look at some
Yeah.
shitters.
Real quick on Fartcoin, I'm
Real
I
quick
wanna
on the
talk-
MLB. Just kidding. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I kind of think Fartcoin looks terrible. I'm not gonna lie.
It looks horrible. They just had a Coinbase roadmap announcement, and it's down 1.5% while the entire rest of the market is chatting.
I was kind of thinking to myself, like, imagine being one of the people, and I've been in this camp before, right? With something like KeyCat, where I'm trying to sell into the Coinbase listing, like that's your exit liquidity event. And sometimes you can't control the conditions where your coin is going to end up getting listed. Fartcoin yesterday is like a perfect example. So if you were somebody who was waiting to sell your Fartcoin into a Coinbase listing, you're probably like panicked right now.
Not ideal.
No,
Not ideal timing.
not one bit. I talked about this on Spaces yesterday. The decision for Coinbase to announce that in the manner and the timing in which they did from a PR perspective is like, what are you doing on your
Zero
marketing
regard
side?
for market timing at all.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Which,
like,
by the way, I guess is not. It's not like not their job. Their job is to list stuff, right? But
Yeah.
you would think that maybe they would determine, hey, this is a better time to list it than not, right?
Right.
Yeah, Coinbase
But-
is just out of touch. I mean, they're just out of touch. You know, if they really wanted to, if they were intelligent and savvy in customer relations and everything, first they would figure out the whole freezing funds issue. Like that is such a deterrent from people using their platform.
You really think it's not purposeful?
No, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's from like a clearing perspective and from like a liquidity perspective.
Tommy's schizo tinfoil hat alarm is going off right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just think Coinbase is pretty underhanded company in general.
Mhm.
Heard some not so good things said publicly about Coinbase and Circle from like the Circle IPO. Just feels like a blatant cash grab to me, but really, when that
Tommy.
stable coin, am I right?
You're rugging, yeah.
Do you guys remember that stable coin bill that passed a few weeks ago?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I remember talking about it back then. I mean, there are rumors that Coinbase is actually underhandedly, worked to undermine that legislation so that they could maintain market dominance.
Do you believe that? I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying, do you believe it?
I believe that 100%.
That's pretty two-faced, man, because they have all this like pro crypto stuff that they claim to be working on,
Mhm.
men for the industry. But
Yeah, I don't trust them.
how do you on and off ramp crypto, Tommy? Do you use Coinbase?
Honestly, now I use Robinhood.
You like Robinhood better for on and off ramping?
Yes,
Really?
I actually do, because for one, if you have a certain, like if you've hit a certain account value on Robinhood, you get instant deposits and like a ton of access to instant liquidity. So you can onboard same day if you want, but also like it's just so easy getting crypto in and out of the Robinhood exchange, like just USDC. I've had a very, very pleasant experience with Robinhood thus far. Coinbase, and there is no risk of asset seizure.
When does your Starlink come?
Oh, I think he's
Okay, so
fully
here's the thing. It's here. I got it yesterday. It's a satellite.
Dude, you have a balcony.
I'm in an
Put it on
apartment.
your balcony.
Can I do that? I think
Find the
I
fire
think my
escape
wife.
hatch. Find the fire escape hatch. Go put it on the roof and like run your cord down the side of the building through your balcony for maximum service.
Jeez.
I think SPX 6900 is a pretty good candidate for a short here.
The thing I like the most about it is that SPX might actually go to 6,900 this year. That's probably the most bullish catalyst for it, right?
Mm-hmm. That's crazy to think about. I mean, I remember too, like if you think back to the end of 2023, like beginning of 2024, I mean, no way in any world did anybody think the S&P would be like well over 6,000 in 2025. Like at least I did not. Yeah, that's crazy. Crazy to think about.
I can't believe we have people buying this coin above $1 billion market cap. Truly.
Yeah, I think this is a really good short candidate, and I think Fartcoin is as well.
I actually think Fartcoin is a great shark candidate, or shark candidate.
Shark, perfect. That's
Candidate.
perfect.
I feel like it's probably a better short, closer to like $1.15. But yeah, I am a much bigger fan of ETH memes right here than Sol memes.
Yeah, I am as well. I mean, speaking of ETH memes, we got Mog here. Mog.
Geez, Sol memes really do look pretty dire.
Mm-hmm. I think Mog's got a little bit left to give here. Reset on the oscillators, get a little bit more of a pullback, come back down in this market maker demand. That's your go mode. Dude, Pepe looks insane here, by the way. I just want to state that. Especially on the weekly, like this back test, previous supply, previous resistance, you backfilled most of the inefficiency on the the meat stick candle we had. The weekly RSI is coming down and touching but still holding above the 50. We have a bullish divergence on the 4-hour. I think Pepe looks really, really, really good here. Really good.
I was actually just looking at a couple examples with Pepe here that this is kind of setting up for the same little like drop and rally that it's had on its previous 2 big pumps, which is like, yeah, exactly that. And then if you scroll all the way back even to like the huge run, put it in log mode probably so you can actually see it. That same like right before we ripped, look how we like put in the little drop right there.
Dude, it loves those SFPs. It
loves to do a little like PO3 into like a ripper, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Come on.
Prometheus, hold down shift on your keyboard and draw that line.
Yeah, I was misclicking with control.
Okay.
There we go.
But yeah, it's like Pepe loves to do the little like markup, PO3 deviation, and then boom. And I kind of feel like we just did that little like, we just did the little PO3 deviation thing right here. I think it's time to get Buku Long, the frog.
Yeah.
And I feel like even by like middle of July, we could be at like decabillion status, especially if ETH marks up, which I think it should soon. Yeah. I think it's about that time for Pepe.
I think Pepe is doing like it's been a while since I brought it up, but like that range on Pepe reminds me more and more of Bitcoin at 25 to 30K.
This right here.
Yeah,
just
I can see that.
Entire structure.
Oh yeah,
just like a faster version of that. I could see it,
or a bigger version.
Oh, Tommy, speak dirty to me over your dial-up internet.
Well, sorry. So we had the double top, right, on Bitcoin at 25, 30K range. I think it was like a 6-month range that we formed back there. And then as we were trying to break out of it, we got obviously like the super choppy uptrend, which is kind of where I think Pepe is at right now. But that, I mean, it feels more and more similar to me as time goes on. I kind of feel like Pepe is doing that last pullback that Bitcoin did before it really started ripping.
Where? Give us a date. Where exactly?
Oh God, you're gonna make me pull up the Bitcoin chart.
Oh, tragic.
I know. Probably as far as like the date on Bitcoin, maybe like
oh shit,
like October 10th or 11th, maybe. I think Pepe will be one of the fastest movers off the low.
Dude, that is a crazy comparison there. So we could literally be in October and just about to do like over the next 60 days. Just.
Wow.
I mean, that's what it would imply, right? Is like launch should be soon, Like we should. Is it too ambitious and optimistic to say by
Well,
August 1st, Pepe is well into price discovery, Tommy? Is
I
that
don't
too
think that's
crazy?
ambitious.
You don't think that's ambitious? Is
I
that
don't think that's too ambitious, rather.
well, there's the bat signal. That's all I needed to hear.
Yeah, I think I'd only be like concerned on Pepe if you start losing like 0.007. Then the market structure would look pretty bad. But I mean, to me, it just looks like super choppy stair step. Probably, in the undergoing the final shakeout on this asset before higher pricing.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Yeah, that looks crazy.
Well. All my years of waiting for this elusive pump, they may finally be here.
Yeah. I mean, I zoomed in on the 4-hour on Pepe. I mean, I talked about it coming in structural retest, 4-hour bull div, see a pop here, compression, just like what we had in BTC at the range, and then bam.
I feel like I've been chasing Bigfoot all these years, like waiting for this Pepe launch, I'm just like, I can't catch you. I see you in the woods, but I can't get a picture of you.
Is
I
it
like
safe
that
to say? I mean,
example.
yeah, this is clean. Is it safe to say Pepe is just the ETH beta index?
I
Like
mean,
at
to
this
me,
point?
it's the best like ETH meme coin
Yeah.
beta. Obviously, Aave can trade a little bit stronger than Pepe sometimes.
What is the Salana beta index?
Huh. It's a new coin every freaking week.
Yeah.
I mean, it was whiff earlier in the cycle, then it was fart coin.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I hope it stays fart coin because I have some exposure to it, but we'll see.
Bonk was beta once. Moodang.
Here's the thing about Sol. As much Sol FUD as we partake in on this show, if ETH rips and Bitcoin rips, Sol's going to go higher and Sol memes are going to go higher as a result of the rising tide that lifts all ships. It's going to be like what we saw with ETH during the first half of the cycle, where Sol was kicking ass, doing numbers, doing multiples, and ETH got dragged up as a result of Bitcoin appreciating and a sign of the times, right? So it's like, I don't think, given my bias for ETH and Bitcoin here, I could be bearish on anything, whether it just got a Coinbase listing and what, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? For me, it's just a matter of like, is total going higher? If total's going higher, then everything's going higher. It's not like you're going to see ETH and Bitcoin rip and Sol is like nuking. It might lag. It might underperform ETH. That's what the Sol ETH pair is suggesting might happen. But just know that that's a lot different than being bearish.
Mhm.
Say that again, Tommy.
I'm gonna FUD their bags. If you're overweight, Sol, you're gonna be upset.
So the Sol guys are the new ETH guys. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Mhm. Yeah, I had some family members. I told them to rotate Sol into Keat at the lows. Needed to be done. You just can't ignore the weakness out of Solana. Like it's just, I posted something on my timeline, the spaghetti chart from the BB terminal, and it just, I mean, it's so weak, so weak. It's underperforming Bitcoin even, and that's not something that it's done for the entirety of the cycle. It's been the outperformer. So this regime shift, you just got to take note of. Pepe's about a markup in a big way versus Fartcoin. Big way.
It looks good.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely look to rotate Fartcoin into Pepe if I had a big Fartcoin bag. because it's about to turn into hot diarrhea.
Here's the thing is I don't know if I agree. I think it could stop being a leader, but I don't think, given what I think is about to happen to majors, that you're going to see something like this die. It might get its ass kicked by Pepe.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
But yeah,
I'm not
like, I
saying.
could still see Farcoin going into price discovery, certainly.
Yeah, because I mean, just the dynamic of what's happening on Sol, the strength out of ETH, this pair, the Pepe fractal we just showed. Pepe, in my opinion, is going to have some significant outperformance. But I still think Farcoin could do well.
And that's a perfect note to end the Friday stream on, guys. We are coming into time. Tommy, would you take us out, brother?
All right, guys, that concludes today's show and this week's shows. We hope that you enjoyed our content as always. That is going to wrap us up, but we will be back on Monday for another episode. A reminder, if you are not a regular Market Check viewer, or if you are, that we go live every weekday, Monday through Friday. Typical start time around 11:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But yeah, make sure to tune in as well to Market Talk, which is our afternoon show. You're looking for a way to finish out your day and finish out your week with King Wabi. He always does a great job on those shows, and he's been crushing the market as well. So make sure to tune in for that. That is a Spaces hosted through our Because Bitcoin X account, as well as Wabi's personal account. But yeah, like I said, that concludes today's show. Before we can let you run, though, I do want to just run something really quick by you guys as we wrap up the show, and that is your go-to tool for the cycle. I promise I might be a little redundant when I talk about it, but it really is your go-to tool, guys. Whether or not you are an active trader trading lower time frames off open interests, derivatives, I know that's not everybody's cup of tea, right? A lot of you guys are here for long-term investing. Well, fortunately, the BB Terminal has the tools, the data, and the utility for you as well to be able to make educated long-term investment decisions. And of course, I mean, we'd be remiss if we didn't have a spot for our on-chain degenerates as well. Maybe you're a meme coin trader. You don't like to invest long-term in crypto because you don't know what to trust. Maybe you just don't like trading leverage because you think that meme coins provide it for you. Well, like I said, I mean, we've got a home for our on-chain traders as well to be able to find huge utility out of the BB Terminal. But yeah, guys, that's it from us. We were nice enough to give you access to free portfolio tracking with the BB Terminal as well. So if you want to get your foot in the door, try out the product, I promise you won't be disappointed. We've got that optionality for you as well. But before we depart, I'm just going to play a little ad for the BB Terminal so you guys can see a little bit more of what it's about. But yeah, until next week, guys, we hope that you've had a great and successful week, a safe weekend, and of course, we'll see you back on Monday. Thanks again.
Am I clicking it? It looks like
No, I can do it.
Every morning, coffee in hand, I open up the BB Terminal. We built this platform to be your trusted companion, whether you're actively trading, investing for the long haul, or even dabbling in the degen space. Let's start with the BB portfolio. It integrates with over 60 blockchain networks and supports both wallet connections and manual entries, making it flexible enough for any trader. On the active page, you'll find advanced charting tools, complete with more than 21 custom scripts to give you deeper insights. Beneath that, our intuitive heat map helps you spot key support and resistance levels easily. But we know active trading isn't everyone's style, so we created the DCA page, equipped with over 35 thoughtful indicators. It's designed to assist you in making informed, strategic, and long-term investment decisions. We're genuinely proud of what we've created here at BB, and we continually strive to improve it every day.